Right, when you're ready, coming into your set position, you're sitting your heels beneath your hips and being as tall as possible. Soft knees, a tuck of your bottom and gently drawing the belly in, and just starting some nice easy shoulder rolls. Pull your shoulders up towards the ears and then reaching down towards the knees. As you pull the hands down, keep pulling up with the crown of the head and then making the circles bigger whenever you're ready. Just taking the hands just in front of the face and pulling the elbows down towards the side of the ribs. So the breath in as you lift and the out breath as you pull the elbows down. So just bring a little release around the chest and the shoulders, and then this time stopping the hands just by your shoulders, cross the hands, touch the outside of the hips and then squeeze the shoulder blades together. As you bring the arms back, you're turning your palms up towards the ceiling, so it brings more stretch into our chest, which is going to allow the muscles in the upper back to work a little bit harder today. Breathe in as you tip forwards and then breathe out as you rise. An option to make it a little bit bigger, bring a little bit of movement through the spine, tucking in the chin, reaching towards the outside of the knees, and a nice big lift of the chest when you rise. Two more. Breathing in, out with the lift, and your last one. Turn your palms down, stepping over to the right, and then stepping into centre. So keep the shoulders just drop down away from the ears, so there's no tension into the shoulders. And again, still keep squeezing the shoulder blades together each time when you rise. So we're going to have really good posture by the end of this. As you pull in, pull the head up towards the ceiling, and two more across here, and then staying across. Open the arms and tip to the side. So just getting into the inner thighs now. I want to press both feet firmly down to the floor. Right foot ever so slightly turned outwards. And then think about lifting your left hip up towards the ceiling. And you can reach out a little further if you want more stretch. And try and breathe out again as you ease into that stretch. And a little breath in as you rise. Out through the mouth and in through the nose. And twice more. And then your same leg. Step in and then stride forward, keeping the back heel down. And just bring the hands behind the back. Squeeze again the shoulder blades and take a little hip hinge. And try and keep the chin nodded in as you hinge forward. And I tend to look forward. That's keeping an eye on you all. Now think about again lifting your bottom. Your right buttock, slightly push it back and gently lift it upwards towards the ceiling. As you tip forward, a elbow holds towards the spine. Just give it a nice strong neutral position. And your last one here. As you come up into centre, bend your front knee so it's over your heel, and then take your left foot a little further back with the heel lifted and tuck the bottom. Come into a lunge and circle the arms. Breathing in. So when you go into your lunge, you want to lead down with the back knee and try and keep the front knee directly over the heel so the weight doesn't slide forward. You're going straight down and straight up. And if you're doing breaststroke, start to really squeeze the armpits down. So if you're pulling yourself through water, breathe in, breathe out up tall. Every time you rise, push out the front heel. And every time you lower, keep that little tuck under with the tailbone. And once more. Keeping the weight in that front leg, straightening the back leg, lengthening the spine, and just gently now rotating from one side to the other. And again, each time you pick up the arm, feel that's picked up from the shoulder blade, and it's shoulder blades physically squeezing in towards the spine. Back leg nice and strong, so squeeze the front of your left thigh. Feel like you're almost trying to pick that kneecap up right away from the ground. Keeping the chin tucked in, so as you turn through the upper body, we're getting the rotation through the neck as well as the thoracic spine. But using our core muscles to keep the hips still. Once more each way. Then waking up your glutes, hands to your hips, press the back heel down, but don't let that front knee move, it stays over the heel. Then push forward and then reach back. Now again, as you come forward, try and keep your shoulders and hips nice and square. And the more you keep the knee forward at the front, as you press your back heel down, the more you're going to feel the stretch into the calf. Sometimes when we go back, we almost tend to straighten this front leg out. So keep the knee here, push out the heel, press back into the heel. Breathe in as you slide back, breathe out, push forwards. Still softly drawing the belly button towards the back. And your last two here. And your one, and step in. Back to the arms. Just come back to the circles, and I'm in the heel raise this time. So again, re-engaging your lats, pulling the elbows down towards the ribs, squeezing the armpits closed. Nice big lift with the heels. Holding the hands just in line with the shoulders, stepping across, opening the chest as you rise, breathing in, out with the lift. So don't bring the hands too high. When the arms come out to the side, they're more level with the chest rather than up by the shoulders. So it allows you to keep dropping the shoulders away from the ears. No tension in those shoulders. For more stretch, just push the hips a little further back, but keep the length in the spine as you push back into your hips. Using that left, right leg as your anchor and using your inner thigh to pull yourself in. We're going to go once more, and then we step across and we stay across. Left foot slight diagonal, hips are square, and then your little teapot, short and stout. Here's my handle. Gotta go with it. Here's my spout. Chin in, so ears and shoulders stay in line with your handle and your spout. And let the hips move over to the right, lifting the hips slightly up towards the ceiling. Maybe allowing the arm to come a little higher to deepen that stretch. Out through the mouth, in on the lift. Still a little squeeze between the shoulder blades, so again it keeps the ears, the shoulders all nicely aligned as you tip to the side. And once more, same leg, your left leg strides forward. So feet under hips, long stride forward. When you stride forward, both heels down, both legs straight. Shoulders set, hip hinge, lifting the bottom. Keep pressing down through both of your heels. And again, keep the chin in so you're not tempted to look forward as you hinge. So we're not altering the position of the spine as we tip from the hips. The more we get a tip from the hips, the more we're going to feel the hamstrings down the back of the right thigh, left thigh stretching. And again, let out breath. Keep the belly button softly drawn towards the spine. So a nice, strong, lengthened posture as we tip. Last one. Holding in centre. So bend the front knee. Take your right heel further back, hands to the thighs. Ease into the back knee so we're not sliding forward. We lead with the lunge, with the back knee towards the floor. And also trying to keep our shoulders above our hips. If you feel the shoulders come forward, don't go as deep into that back knee. More think again about keeping your posture. Your ears, your shoulders, your hips stay aligned. And you give the front of your pelvis a little lift at the front. When you lower into that back knee, that's where you're going to feel more stretch across the front of the hip. Again, breathing in as you sit, breathing out to rise. Almost getting your back shin parallel to the floor and still keeping that front knee here so it's not pulling backwards and forwards. Stability through that knee, movement through the hips, squeezing down with the armpits and pulling with the shoulder blades. And once more, holding, straighten the back leg. So again, pulling the kneecap up so you've got a nice straight leg, and when you're ready, alternating through your upper body from one side to the other. Now when you turn the upper body, try not to let the hips or the legs move. So when we're here, we kind of keep pulling out the knees slightly so it switches on the outer thighs and the hips. Your left kneecap stays pointing directly to the front. And if you pull softly down with the tailbone towards that back heel, you're going to feel like it brings a little bit more length into the spine. Brings a little bit more connection into your core. That's going to help stabilise the hips, the lower back, and then more rotation through the neck and the thoracic spine. And your last one. Stay here, keep that front knee where it is, hands to your hips, push the back heel to the floor, front knee still forward, and then push up off the front heel. So you come down to the toes, then you roll from the toes to the ball of the foot into the heel, and then push out with the front heel. Chin again in, so nice alignment all the way through the spine as you move. So we've stretched off the right muscles, we've woken up the right muscles, we're almost ready to get going. Again, feel the stretch in the calf, muscle your hips pull back but your knees staying pushed forwards. And your last one. And then you can step in. Right, grab a weight, so let's have the one this morning. It's warm down here, I think Steve will need some of it. Oh, there we go. Right, your feet just outside your hips, nice and simple, our squats, curls and presses. So shoulders back. The weight naturally wants to pull your shoulders forward, so instantly you're engaging your back muscles by drawing the shoulders back and down. Just into your squat, little bicep curl and a diagonal press. So down between the knees, pushing up through the heels. And as you come up to the top of your squat, don't look out the knees. Keep them slightly soft here. And really focus on when you're sitting back into your squat, keeping the weight in the heels. Even if you're not squatting as low, sometimes the knees will come forward where you'll feel the weight shift into the toes. So it's really focus on keeping in the heels the whole way through. Now if you open the knees a little from the hips, see now the knees stay tracking in line with the toes. Thinking about the upper back now. So when you come into the squat, you're trying not to let the back round. Keep lifting the chest. Sit a little deeper if it feels okay. And again, nice big drive out the heels as you rise. 4 more here. So just working the whole body up, all working as one. And your last 2. Breathe out and lift. Breathe in, release. And then bring your weight down to your left hand. Let's go bowling. So shoulder back in set position. Weight comes towards the inside of the right knee and back to 90 degrees. Breathing in and breathing out. So when the weight comes down, it's tempting to let your back round and your shoulder drop forward. So I'm going to really lock the shoulder into position. And you're trying to work on that shoulder stability by not letting the shoulder drop forward as you move. So breathing in, optional waist, tap the toe or lift the knee. Breathe out through the mouth. Chin in, slightly pushing back into the hips as you move across. And the whole time keeping your left foot flat on the ground. 2 to go here. Sweeping and pulling. Last one. Hold here. Extend the leg behind with a tricep kick back. Either tapping your toes, come into a bicep curl, tapping it behind and tapping it in front, or come into a little lift, knee lift, leg extension. The arm itself stays tucked in here, so you've still got your shoulder back in set position, and then as you hinge forward, you're keeping that alignment between the shoulder and the elbow. Squeezing your glutes as you extend the leg. Breathe in with the lift, out to extend. As you tip forward, chin still in. Still keeping the weight in your left heel as you hinge forward. And then just try and stretch your right leg a little further back. Once more. Hold it in centre. Feet down, hips to the right, left foot slight diagonal, and then straight into our side bends. So ears again staying in line with the shoulders. Bottom squeezed and your thighs squeezed. So keep pressing really firmly into both heels. And the key to keeping the work in the waist is keeping the hips still. If the hips sway, we get momentum coming through the legs as we lift. If we keep the legs still, we've got to really focus on pulling our ribs back towards our hips. Again, your left shoulder stays relaxed the whole way through. Breathing in on the way down, out on the way up. Chin back towards the throat the whole time. And your last 2 here. And we're going to do it all again. Keeping the feet wide, bring the weight back to centre and balance your weight even back into both feet. Squat, curl and press, option to add in a heel raise this time. So opening the chest, sit into your squat, option to lift the heels as you extend the arms. Making sure you lower the heels as you bring your weight back down, so the heels are firm onto the floor, for you to go into your squat. Now when you lift the heels, still keep the knees soft. It's going to make it a little harder to balance, but it's going to make a few more muscles work to help us balance. And notice when I press the weights up, it's not going over the head, so it's not arching the back. I'm pushing it to a slight diagonal, so it makes it easier to keep a neutral spine, and it keeps it a lot safer around the shoulders. Breathe out on the extension, slow breath in. Think about the neck, nice and lengthen through the neck, through the spine. 2 more to the top, and then we can go ball in again. We're going to bring the weight down into the right hand. So stepping your feet in, roll your shoulder back and really focus on holding the shoulder back here. Step across towards the inside of the thigh, 90 degrees. Breathing in, out with the lift. So again, we're tipping forward from the hips, but we're not letting that back around. So if you're not going as far, think about maintaining your posture as you step. Pulling the shoulder blade back. I'm almost feeling that shoulder blade slotting right back into the back of the rib cage. Finding balance, or just come into a light tap. Use the out breath as you rise. That's what's going to help to engage your core here. And then further back with the bum for more stretch in that inner thigh. And we get more stretch in the inner thigh. There's more work for that inner thigh. 2 to go. Stride in, holding at the top, foot down or knee lifted, tap in, or lifting and lifting. So again, we're still using our core muscles to support the spine. So it's really important we keep the back long and we don't let the shoulders collapse forwards. So it helps to keep that squeeze in the shoulder blades the whole time. And your right knee the whole time. Still nice and soft. Breathing out through the mouth, little breath in. Chest nice and lifted as you come forwards. And bring the shoulders all the way back above the hips. Feeling the tricep, a little squeeze into the back of the arm. 2 more here. And your last one. Foot comes down. Turn your right foot slightly out. Square the hips. Up to the left. And relax your right shoulder. Breathe in, try and touch the ceiling, but don't try and reach over the head. Reach directly upwards. So you can see how the wrist, the elbow, the shoulder align here. We feel that lengthening here. And then we use that strong out breath and we're really focused on pulling the ribs back towards the hips. So again, the stronger we keep our legs, the more grounded we keep our heels, and the more we keep squeezing our bottom, it's going to make our base stronger and make our waist work harder. I might get rid of an Easter egg or 2. 2 more. Breathing in, out on the way up, in, out on the way up, and rest. Right, bring your weights in front of your breastbone. Cross leg lunges just across to your right, so weights in the left heel. Don't let the shoulders lift, let them drop away from your ears. So the weight's here level with your breastbone. 1 step, 1 twist. Right leg. Step, twist, tap. So again, bending both knees. Now when you add your twist, your option is to extend the arms, pull it back, and then rise. So we twist, extend, pull back, and rise. So tuck the tailbone. As you push the weight forward, don't look out the elbows. So you're keeping the elbows soft, but keep the shoulders back. So you're keeping the shoulders directly above the hips here. I'm losing my balance. It's back. Pull in. Now if you want to make it all one move, and you still feel balanced, you can do. Again, keeping the shoulders just drop down away from the ears. Maybe keeping that foot lifted as you rise. Again, think about your back. Think about keeping the back as long and as straight as possible. Driving that left heel into the floor. And try not to let the weight come forward into the toes when you rise. 2 to go. And your last one. Change legs. Left leg moves. Shoulders set. So slow step and a twist and then a tap. So it doesn't have to be a very big step or a very big twist. So if you struggle with the knees for any reason, just step, keep the balance and twist. Or if you're okay going to more of a lunge, nice deep lunge with that back knee. And then option once you've twisted, a plate press and coming forwards. Now again, when you twist, brace your core and keep lifting gently with the front of the pelvis. And that's going to allow more stretch into the hips. Feeling fine? All one move. Step and tap. Step and tap. Now breathe in, breathe out. Maybe try and lift that left foot just off the floor, or let the big toe rest lightly for balance. So again, think about your core as soon as you step back. Feel your core braces. Keep the weight low so it's level with the chest, not up by the shoulders. Still pushing out the heel the whole time. 2 to go here. Your last one. And then you can rest that leg down. Weight in front of your thighs. And let's come into a single leg deadlift. So I'll start with the deadlift first. Let's do both feet to begin with. Shoulders back, knees soft. Don't let the ribs collapse to the hips. Lift your ribs up and then feel your hinging forward from the hips. Just feeling a mild stretch into the back of the thighs. So slow breath in as you hinge forwards and breathe out with the lift. If your ribs collapse down as you tip forward, you're going to see how the back rounds and we don't bring any stretch into the hamstrings. So keep lifting the chest up as high as possible. And as you tip forward, push the bottom back and almost lift the tailbone up towards the ceiling. Now you can stay here or bring your weight into your right hand. Take your right leg back. Single leg deadlift with a row. If you're staying in the centre, add in the row. We tip, we try and find balance. 1 arm row and tap. So when you bring the foot down, it's fairly light. And this is apparently how golfers are supposed to bend down to pick up their ball. You know, good flexibility to do it. So it's again that hip hinge, shoulder blades squeezing into the spine. And notice that when you tip forward, the weight doesn't again shift into the toes. So you're slightly pushing the bottom back as you tip forward. So you're pushing the weight back into the heel. And then you're pushing up out of your front heel. And just 2 more here. Squeeze into the shoulder blade. 1 last one. Hold at the top. Just bend your front knee and tap your big toe. And then push up. So you're not putting any weight down onto the right foot. And when you tap your big toe, it's almost like you're into a squat position. The hips slide back and push forward. It's like a single leg squat without resting the foot down. And again, don't worry if you don't go too far. Just put weight back into the bottom. And if you need to, you can let that back foot lightly tap, but just onto the tip of the toe. 3, push out the heel. 2, out the heel. Your last one, and step in. And you can shake out that buttock. Right, so let's get the other one just as warm. Set your posture, so again nice and tall. Take your left leg back. And when your left leg goes back to keep neutral spine, you've got to slightly hinge forwards. When you're ready, keeping the standing knee soft, pulling with the elbow, and tap your back foot. Breathe in, out, out. Now again, you can try it with not putting the foot back onto the floor. But when we do tip forward, obviously gravity is going to pull that shoulder forward as well. So we've got to keep that shoulder blade really locked in towards the spine. Otherwise, if your shoulder drops, you'll feel your spine twists. Trying to keep everything nice and square. Keeping the belly button drawn in. And again, not locking out your right knee. And then you can see if you can push the hips just a little further back. So go back behind the heel, and you're squeezing the bottom to get the hips back underneath of your shoulders. Feel loose, squeeze the shoulder blade, and try and keep that little squeeze into the shoulder blade as the weight lowers, so it helps keep our shoulder girdle level. 2 more here. Ready for the finale? Hold at the top. When you're ready, just bend the front knee and push forwards. So you're trying to just move your hips forward, backwards, sorry, not your knee forward. So you're sitting to that back foot, pushing out your front heel. Maybe not putting the back foot down. Again, it's a little bit harder. Actually, it's quite a lot harder. But that's no bad thing. Just finding all those deeper muscles to stabilise the knee and the hip. Keeping your core on, so you've got nice posture the whole way through. Not balance on this leg today. Breathe out as you push out the heel. Try and maybe to reach a little further back. 2 more. And then coming into your last one and step in. Oh, that one hurt more today for some reason. Right, let's all lie down, you've earned it. Coming onto your back when you're ready. So as we come onto our back with our single weight, we're going to keep challenging our obliques, the muscles that stabilise the space between the ribs and the hips to the side. Nice, easy, single arm fly. So as you roll back, weighting just your right hand, working the opposite leg. And as we move the right arm and left leg, we're trying to keep everything from our tailbone to the crown of the head in a neutral position. So we're not letting the ribs flare or the back lift away from the ground. So we draw the front of the ribs down, we press the tailbone gently to the ground, so we've locked in our core here. Now both feet light, shoulder away from your ear and your right elbow soft. Sliding your left leg forwards, but not letting the ribs or the lower back lift. Your lower back's got a natural curve, so there's just a little pocket of air between your lower back and your mat. Now keep your right foot really light on the floor, and as you bring your left leg in, try not to put any pressure down through your right foot. That way you can use your core more to stabilise as you move. And if you're happy here, stay here, or you can bring it up into tabletop. If you're in tabletop, there's a little tilt back with the pelvis. One leg moves, and again, we're still looking at stability on the right hand side. Oh. Now don't worry about taking the leg low, take it more to a diagonal. And then we can really focus on keeping the soft imprint of the lower back. Slow breath in, breathe out to rise, in through the nose, out through the mouth. 4 more here. Just a little nodding with the chin to help keep the spine aligned and very aware those ribs and hips don't separate. Your last one. Now from here, bring the feet down, keep the weight in the right hand and shoulder anchored. Heels come a little closer, lift up the hips, single hip bridge with the fly, with the tricep press, sorry. Just coming halfway down with the hips and squeezing the bottom as you rise. So knees, just check and glance that they're in line with the hips. Lengthen the back of the neck and gently draw both shoulder blades down to the back of the rib cage. Now don't let the bottom rest on the floor. There's no time to rest. Squeeze on the extension, right into the back of the upper arm. And again, we're still focusing on keeping the upper arm still. The elbow the whole time stays in that same position. 4 more on this side. Squeeze the bottom with the lift. Last 2, hips a little high if you can. And your last one, and hold. Change sides. So weight into your left. Set the shoulders first. Tuck in the chin. Back to neutral and the feet a little further forwards. Connect with the ribs, they're slightly held towards the hips. And when you're opening the arm and the leg, you're trying not to let the ribs flare And you're also trying not to let that lower back lift away from the ground. And if that's happening, just make the movement smaller. It's more important that we're using our core to keep our hips, ribs and spine in place. Keeping the elbows soft and keeping your left foot light. It's really tempting to push through your left foot as you bring the arm and the leg back in. The more you don't push through that left foot, the more your core responds. And again, if you want to bring it to tabletop position, knees at 90, tilt the pelvis back so you've got a soft imprint. Now you might not take the arm as far when you've got the knees in tabletop position, because you might feel your body wants to roll over towards the weights. And this is where we really start to challenge the obliques, the waist muscles, just sitting between the ribs and the hips. And again, as one leg moves, trying to get that opposite leg perfectly still. Keep drawing slightly down the front of the ribs, so just before you open the arm, pin the ribs down and really focus on holding them there as the arm and leg moves. Your last one. Back to your hip bridges. Feet close, weight stays up, shoulders again away from the ears. Start at the top of the hip bridge when you're ready. Halfway down with the hips. Weight coming towards the top of your shoulder, so the weight just skims past your ear. And as you push up with the hips, push down with the shoulders. So it's getting your upper back muscles to stabilise your shoulders as you drive the hips up. And we're looking for a good hip extension. The more we squeeze the glutes and push the hips up, the more work we're going to feel through the back of the body. Now when we push the hips up, try not to let the ribs flare. So we don't want over flare at the top. Ribs are still down, and we're just getting the hip extension and the tricep work. Breathe out with each extension. In as you ease down. 3, 2, and your last one, and hold. Come all the way down. Right, so let's come down into plank. So knees just at 90 degrees. Option to be on your elbow, or you can rest down on the floor. We're going to have the weight on the thigh. Option to ditch the thigh. Weight, not the thigh. Keep the thigh, ditch the weight. So now we don't want to be aware of our shoulder. Push the elbow into the floor and feel like you're lifting your rib cage. So shoulder stability and trunk stability is key here. We're going to lift the knee, keep the knee at hip level, and bring it forwards and then lower down. Now when you lift the knee, don't keep the foot low. I want you to lift the whole leg so the shin is parallel to the floor as it comes forward. Now again, if you've got the elbow underneath the shoulder, keep gently pressing down through the elbow. Keep lifting up with your ribs. So again, we get the obliques working to stabilise here as we move. And use the out breath. Breathe in and release. Out with the lift. And again, when that top knee comes forward, just level with the hip. Keeping the foot again up in line with the knee. So we lift the weight to the whole leg. Just makes it a little bit harder. 2 more. Smooth, controlled movement. Strong shoulder. Hold in the centre. Just a lift. Up, down, up, down. Now you might find your body wants to move as you start to lift the leg. If that's happening, make it a smaller lift. Keep lifting the ribs and pressing down with the elbow. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. So if you just roll onto your back now, slightly different move. Elbows underneath your shoulders, and again, don't sink into the back. You're going to lift your chest up. Keeping the right knee bent, take your left leg out straight, toes to ceiling. What we're going to do from here is bring the knee in, push the leg forward, and then out to the side. And we're going to try and keep the toes pointed upwards towards the ceiling. Now, we're still using our core, so push the elbows in, lift the chest up, little nod in with the chin, come out to the side. And as you're moving your leg out to the side, you're trying to keep the opposite knee perfectly still. So again, I want our core on, knee in, out straight. And keeping the bent knee, the foot as light as possible. So you're not pushing through that foot on the floor as you move the opposite leg. 2 more here. And really to get into the front of the thigh next. Hold in centre, lift and lower down. Lift, push away with the heel. So toes point, heel lowers. Point the toe, pull the toes back. 5, lowering. Breathe out. Feeling your quads. 2, chest nice and high. And your last one. And release. Change legs when you're ready. We're going to come to the opposite side for the clams first. So again, if you need to, a little less on your shoulders. Rest the head, rest the shoulders. Or again, a little bit more shoulder stability. Don't have the elbow too far away because there's nothing here to stabilise your shoulder joint. Bring the elbow a little closer than you think. Push the shoulders over the elbow. Pull up that bottom rib, so again your waist muscles are on. Knees at 90. Lift, bring it forwards, pull it back and release. And again, just see how far you can comfortably move the leg without any sway through your upper body. Now it's really tempting to let the foot stay down. Lift the whole leg so the knee stays directly in line with the ankle and the hip as you bring that knee forwards. Now also feel like you're lifting your armpit away from the ground. And that's going to switch on more muscles around the shoulders to help stabilise. Now again, if you need to, you can bring the arm down, rest the head, or stay here. 4 to go. Shin almost parallels the front of the room. And again, up, forwards. 2 more. Last one. Again, you can lose that weight at any point. Just the lift now, and don't let the shoulders collapse as you lift your leg. Strong push the elbow into the floor. Strong push of the elbow into the floor, should I say. And lifting and releasing. Try not to rest the leg at the bottom. Just a light hover and back up, down, up. You can smile as well while you do this. Or grimace, that's fine, I can't tell the difference from here, I've not got my glasses on. And 2 more. And your last one. And rest. Kind of. Ditch the weight. We're going to work with that same leg that's just been moving. So we come back onto the elbows. And again, it's easy to collapse down here and the shoulders come out of alignment. So elbows are nice and close. Push the elbows into the floor and lift the chest up. Same leg, knee in. Leg out. And then drift into the side. So the knee just comes above hip. Keeping the toes pointing to the ceiling. And again, as much as you're moving this leg, try and make sure the opposite leg stays perfectly still. So again, still use our obliques. Because when we move the leg to the side, you feel like your body wants to rock a little, or your pelvis wants to rock. So gently press down to the tailbone. Lift up with the chest. Gently pressing into the elbows. And remember, you can lie down at any point, just keep the head rested and just work with the leg. Leg work's never easy, is it? It's not meant to be. Keep your chin tucked in so you're always looking forwards. And once more. Good for the outer thighs though. Now for the front of the thigh, lift the leg, lower, pulling your toes back, point the toe, push the heel away. So when you lift this leg, you're just getting your thighs parallel, pushing away with the heel, and then lowering down. Heel away, toes point, push with the heel, breathe in, out through the mouth, in through the nose, out through the mouth. 4 to go. I think I might stretch out these hips afterwards. 3, slow controlled lower, 1 more time. And then rest. Bring the feet in and let the head rest. Just take a little hip bridge, so feet nice and close. Push it with the hips, push the knees away, and then try and squeeze the bottom. And try now slightly tilt your pelvis back a little. So the front of the pelvis is pulling back towards the belly button. You might notice a little bit more release in the hips here. Right, so we're going to release those hips a little bit more. Come up when you're ready. Oh. A couple of options here to take these stretches a little deeper. I think they might be needed. So you can start here with the feet wide. Take both knees across to your right, so that both, if you look at the knees, are at 90 degrees. Bring one hand to your ankle, one hand above the knee, and line your chest up with the middle of your shin. No rounding backs. Lift the chest up nice and high. Now you can stay here, or if you want to deepen the stretch in the hip, this back leg, left leg, reaches back, and you kind of turn onto the tops of your toes. So you're letting your left hip roll over towards your right heel. You'll feel your right buttock lifts off the floor, and then you can maybe try and slide the toes a little further back, or you might want to try and come down onto your elbows. Now, whichever position you're in, you can just move about a little in the hips. If you're in this position, rock your hips towards your right heel, and then back over to the right hand side. So hip rocks to the right heel, and then easing your weight back over to the right. A couple more here. Or just staying and holding. And then releasing. Hands under your shoulders. Turn. Bring the feet back out wide. So both knees again start wide. So that when we take the knees across to the left, you've got your left shin parallel to the side of the room. Back knee, shin parallel to the front. Hand onto your shin, onto the thigh. And again, we're tempted to bend from here because we think we have to get down. We don't, we're looking for a stretch. So you have to keep the chest up and take the chest forward like you're pushing it right over your shin. That you're peeking over the front of the leg. And again, staying here or taking your right leg back. Turn the knee, the tops of the toes to the floor. Bring your hand forward. And then you can lift your left hip. So you're kind of rolling your right hip towards your left heel. And again, you can just stay here and just have that little rock towards the heel and then back into the centre. Or you can maybe try and come down onto your elbows and staying still might be more than enough. Or if you want to, again, just take that little rock from side to side, just finding that sweet spot. So you're just like easing in and out of that stretch. So you work the hips out, but we've released them well. Let the right heel, hip drop towards that left heel. And then roll across. Again, right hip pushing towards that left heel. And once more. Now all you've got to do is get out of this position. So bringing your hands underneath your shoulders and turning back to the front. You can keep your feet wide or cross your legs. Level hips, so both hip bones anchored, and take a reach across one side and then the other. Nice big arms. Lengthen into the fingertips. Breathing out, arm towards the ear. Breathing in with the lift. So you always want to breathe out as you edge a little deeper into that stretch. So it's like a sigh. And just allows the muscles to relax a little further. And once more each way. And resting. Springing back up on your feet. Or coming over. With your hands on your shoulders, knees into the hips. Take a cat stretch here. Lower the belly, gently push your chest forward. And again, pull up with the belly button. And lift with the chest. And once more each way. And now you can spring back up. Tuck the toes, push onto the balls of the feet, and whichever way feels best to come on up. Come to a forward fold. Let the hands rest in front of the feet or on the thighs. Let the head hang just to release your neck, your shoulders. So you're physically trying to look back towards the thighs. And then in your own time, restacking. Keeping the chin tucked in as you rise. That's the nice bit. Nice release of the spine. Chopping my head off is always a good thing. Take a little twist from side to side. Let the arms, the shoulders drop. Let the rotation come through the spine. Lexi does her best. She shakes her legs instead of her arms. And once more each way. And shrugging the shoulders up. Nice big lift. let them go, and once more. And well worked, ladies and gents. Give those hips a rest for at least 5 minutes now.